What's up, good people? It's Larry Jones. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all of that. If you've been rolling with me for a while, hit the like button. Let's talk about the stock market, right? Everybody's getting these questions. Is the stock market crashing? So you're going to be seeing a lot of videos on that. The CPI, it was high again. I think it was expected to be 0.05%. It came in at 0.09%. Stock market is scared of high interest rates and inflation. And right now, that's the biggest threat on the stock market. But, you have to understand this, that some people believe that trees grow forever, meaning the stock market keeps running. And some people see that tall trees are unstable. All right, meaning it's going to crash down. And so stock market does go up, but it also does come down. And I will tell you that I don't lose sleep over it, good people, because remember, while we're doing our trading, we have to keep our house clean, right? A year ago, around this same time, it was the same thing we were flooded with. Is the stock market crashing? Is the stock market crashing? The answer to that is no one knows. There's not going to be like in Great Britain, some guy comes out in a costume and declares in the street that hear ye, stock market crash is coming. It doesn't happen that way. No one is going to call the day and the hour that the stock market is going to crash. No one knows. It doesn't come with a warning. It just happens. Now, you have to remember that for every stock that's sold, someone's buying it. And you would ask yourself, why would someone be buying a stock during a crash? Because they know that the stock market rebounds 100% of the time. The stock market after a crash, 100% of the time, has rebound itself. Okay? So I was about to make a video about some of the biggest mistakes I've had. And then because of what's happening right now, there's a lot of people asking, is the stock market crashing? And I'm just going to roll these two videos in one. The biggest mistake I ever made was before 2008. And I forget the stock market crash before that, right after the dot-com, was selling, was panic selling. That is hands down the biggest mistake I ever made. As a matter of fact, in my book of disciplines, I literally have written down when and if a stock market crashes, treat it like you are a first-time investor and you have a lot of money, meaning it's a sale, it's a fire sale. Let's go back to the last crash, which was 2020, March 16th, really. Some say 17th, 16th. The reason I know it was March 16th, it was my birthday. That's when COVID hit. That's when everything starts shutting down in our area. And that's when the stock market tanked. It was my birthday, March 16th. So March 16th, 17-ish. All right. Let's look. When in doubt, zoom out. And then I'm going to tell you why I don't panic. So here's one of the reasons why. Let's go to the Dow Jones, right? Here, March 17th, or let's say March 17th for all intensive purposes, you will see that it was up 29,000. And then what happened? COVID. Boom. And it went all the way down to 19, right? But here's the deal. The stock market was, a tree growing towards the sky up until then. Stock market was running up and then it crashed, right? What happened was a lot of people sold down there. And if they would have just waited and look what happened, it came back. Look at that. It came back. By November, it was back from March. Now, no one knows how long, if a crash happens, no one knows how long it lasts, and no one knows how quick the recovery is, right? And so You might say, oh, that's just the Dow. All right, let's go to Apple. Here it is. There again, March. Right in there. And boom, went down. And look at what happened if you'd have stayed in. Okay, let's go to Google. Let's look at it. Here we go. You can see it as clear as day. Ray Charles could see it with Stevie Wonder pointing it out. Here we go. March 16th. And then boom, to the bottom. That was a crash due to COVID. And then look at what happened. So remember, somebody bought up here and is sold down there, panic sold, and look at what happened. Okay, let's go to the NASDAQ. Same deal. Look at that. Boom. Somebody sold down here, but here's what you got to understand. Smart people bought down here and look at what happened. Okay? So I just wanted to show you guys that because this is why I don't lose sleep over a stock market crash. Now, do I like it? No. Is it a loss? Yeah. But here's some of the things that I do. In last January, you guys heard me saying January of this year. You guys heard me saying I believe it was going to be a correction in Q1, quarter one, which we had a correction. All right. I'm no Nostradamus, but just signs were showing that it was coming. Right. And so I kept saying cash up. I kept saying, let's do some profit taking. So if you're really fearful, do some profit taking. If you're up 20, 30, 40% in some of your stock, you can start looking at what stock you want to do some profit taking. All right. Now, mind you, when the stock market crashed, I started selling some stuff. But if I would have held out, it would have went longer. Now, I have a high growth portfolio that I'm not touching, even if the market crashes. Because what do we have on our hands? What do we have? The only tool we have against a stock market crash is time, good people. Time, time. Because the stock market is closer to 200 years than it is 150 years, right? That's how old the stock market is. And it has always come back. It has proven itself. So that's why I don't lose sleep. And I want you guys you can even go on my page into the search bar and put in trailing stop loss for those of you that are new. And so I explain exactly how a trailing stop loss acts, how it reacts rather. And I want you to YouTube and see how a stop loss reacts. You could set a hard stop loss. Okay. These are just some of the tools. None of them work perfect. None of them are okay, but use the tools that you have. So I have stop losses on some of my stock. I have trailing stop losses on some of my stock. I do profit taking when I see that it is time to take profits. But in my high growth long-term stock, I don't have FOMO. So I don't buy them up here. I buy them down here. So if I buy them down here, the lower you buy a stock, the less risk you have. Long-term stock is really all about risk management. Stock and period is about risk management. The lower you buy a stock, the lower the price is, the lower you buy it, the less risk you have. And so I don't worry because I have time on my hand. But one of the things I want to tell you guys is I also have cash on my hand. And so when I sell a stock that I believe, is going to yield me what it's going to yield me on some of my swing plays, I keep some cash available and ready. Because if anything happens like it did in 2020, March 17th of 2020, and we go into another crash like that, instead of me being fearful this time, I am going to go shopping and I'm going to wait. As a matter of fact, the shakier the market starts to look, the more cash I accumulate. Okay. So I'm just trying to help some of you guys out that are fearful. Now, and so what happens is when I cash out, I don't buy in soon as it dips. I try to wait until I know there's a for sure bottom and we come in recovery, because you can never time the market, good people. So these are some of the things that wise investors do and companies are doing, because some of these big institutions was buying at the bottoms or near the bottoms, and they were really buying. So here's what I want you to do instead of operating in fear. Remember, this has been going on for a year, good people. Look at all the money you've made over the last year. But somebody didn't make the money because they were living their life in fear. And so fear, I don't live my life in fear. I live my life in favor. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to zoom out, go back to, you can go back to 2008 and see what happened. And then you can go back to 2020, all right, and see what happened. Just pick any stock, look at any high growth stock and say, what stock should I invest in if a stock market crash happens? Don't live in fear, live in opportunity. And so think about that. If I had a lot of cash and the stock market went down like it did in March of 2020, look at if I would have bought in then, where I will be now. And so instead of living your life in fear now, you live in expectation that if something happens like that again, you're going to make a lot of money. That's the way I look at it, good people. And that is the truth. Do I like a stock market crash or correction? Absolutely not. But this is how I look at the stock market. It's going to yield me more year after year after year. That's why I am an investor first and a trader second. Set your trailing stop losses and your hard stop losses. Do profit taking if you're worried, and then breathe. Just breathe. Just like the song, just breathe. Okay, good people? We're going to leave it right there. Remember those key things, okay? And we'll be talking to you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Check out my links below. Peace.